Good morning again. Yes, one more time. Okay, proof of the existence of God. Piece of cake. Just need a couple minutes of your time. Ask you a few questions. They're all rhetorical, so please just smile and nod. Okay? You're temporary, right? In as much as before your birth, you weren't on Earth, you didn't exist yet, and after your death, you won't be here anymore, right? Okay. Not open for speculation. That's just the way it is. Good, bad, or indifferent. And you were caused to be here by your parents, who were also temporary, right? Okay. And they were caused to be here by your grandparents, who were also temporary. God love them. And your great-grandparents and great, all the way back to the first in the series. Adam and Eve situation, if you will. Whatever you identify with, cavemen, primordial ooze, whatever you like. Every animal on Earth is temporary and caused by the previous temporary thing. Trees drop seeds that become trees that drop seeds. You go back to the first, it's many coming from few. You know? I mean, there's what, 7.7 billion people? I don't know how they know. But the latest census, I mean, when I was born way back in 67, there was 3.5 billion, I think. At the turn of the century, the last century, 1900, it was like 1 billion. In the 1800s, it was like 1 billion people. Many coming from few. Everything on Earth, the Earth itself, 4.5 billion years ago, it hadn't formed yet, had yet to congeal. There was no Earth, imagine that. The quiet universe. There's no noise in space. Nobody can hear me sing, thank God. 4.5 billion years ago, it hadn't formed yet. In 4.5 billion years, it's gonna vaporize because the sun's outer walls are expanding, or heating up, and the sun is expanding. It's gonna eat up Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. That's just the way it is, man. We're about middle age, like me. Hopefully, if I live to be 110. Everything in the universe. Everything anywhere ever is temporary and caused by the previous temporary thing, right? Many coming from few until you get back to the very first temporary thing, I guess you can call the singularity, my hair tie, the singularity, right? The very first temporary thing. Okay, so before the very first temporary thing that was temporary, there was nothing, absolute nothing. Not an atom, not a speck, not a photon, not a Planck length of anything, absolute nothing. But if there was ever absolute nothing, you would still have nothing because you can't get something from absolute nothing, right? Right. So that means the very first temporary thing had to make itself. But then it would have had to exist before itself in order to create itself. And that's impossible, right? Right. So that means there had to have been, and still is, one constant, always existing, everlasting force, energy, entity, being with the capability and imagination and willingness to make the very first temporary thing and everything after that. One last question. Is there any other way it could possibly be? No. It doesn't prove who or what God is, actually, only that He is. There'd be no creation without a creator. And that's just the way it is. Many clients, man, they not many, there are some, it's a small percentage overall of everybody I've ever known that, says they identify as whatever religion, but some are complete, they don't believe in anything. Atheist, agnostic, what have you. And I find it's not that they don't believe in God, it's they don't want to. Because then that brings about accountability. Or maybe it's a shot at their ego, easing God out. Ego, hey, I'm the top of the food chain, bro. I'm the man, I'm the top of the food chain. No, you're not. No, you're not. Man, you back up far enough, you can't even see the Earth or the solar system. You can't even see our galaxy, man. You can't see the Milky Way, you can't see Andromeda next door. We're a little dot on a dot on a dot on a dot by grace, God's grace. So why is everything so important to us? I mean, think about it. Think about your parents. You love your parents. Of course, you love your grandparents. God love them, absolutely. What about your grandparents, or their great grandparents? I don't know. Did great grandpa, was he tall? Did he drink? What did he do for a living? What about his wife? What did the old lady do? Was she funny? Was she a good cook? Did she burn everything, but he ate it anyway and said, "Ah, it's delicious, baby. I love you." Of course you're right. Your ass don't look fat. Ladies, we love you anyway. We love you no matter what. The idea is, it doesn't matter what they did for a living. It doesn't matter what color her eyes were. It doesn't matter, if he was a good guy. None of those details matter. It's meaningless. Who gives a shit? Okay, and that's gonna be our lot over time. No one's ever gonna, as if we never existed. However, if you take one of those people out of that chain, from, like I said, Adam and Eve situation, if you will, you take one person, one man, one woman out of that, we don't exist. The whole thing falls apart. So, is their existence important? Oh yeah, for every reason. Because nobody's an island, nobody's alone. It's like you drop a pebble in a pond, man, the ripples go out and they touch everything else. Your ripples run into my ripples, run into everybody else's ripples. We're all rippled. We're all connected, man. I'll get into another video real deep, bro. I'm a deep thinker, hippie. Yeah, you got it, man. An unexamined life is not worth living. You gotta look up these old deep thinkers, man. They're groovy. So God loves you. God wants you here. You're here by design from our Creator, for a reason, for a purpose. Find your purpose. I found a really good way to discover your own purpose this was really cool. I forget, I saw it on the TED Talks, man. I'm into all of that kind of stuff. I don't watch the news and all that. Never mind, I don't want to get into all of that. I don't watch the news. So I'm watching documentaries, I watch TED Talks, and this one guy said, "I know I'm going to butcher this, man, but you'll get the gist." That's what I am. I'll give you the overall. I'm like a Reader's Digest version. He had 5 things he did. I only remember 4 of them. I'll use myself as an example. Okay, what's your name? Dion. Cool name, thanks. Named after a singer from the 50s and 60s, Dion and the Belmonts. Dion DiNucci. Anyway, Dion, what do you do better than anything else? Not anyone else, but what is the one thing that I do better than anything else I do? I guess it would be speaking, right? I hope you guys find this interesting. Speaking. I speak well. Okay, well, who do you do it for? People suffering, people struggling with low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, stress, addiction especially. What do they get out of it? Freedom from the bondage of self. Freedom from misery. Freedom to be happy. So you put those 4 things together in a sentence. Dion speaks well to inspire people who are suffering to free their hearts and minds. There you go. There's your purpose. Now, that purpose can change over time. I don't know. Best purpose I could find for myself anyway. Knowing that there's a God, knowing there's a natural order to things, okay? It lets you know you're not alone. You're not alone. We're not alone in the universe. And God is tending the light at the end of the tunnel. But you have to tend to your own light. It may dim. It might go out. Don't do that. Don't do that. Fucking don't do that. I keep telling you, wake up, man. Life is beautiful. You don't need a lot of money and bullshit. I don't care to whomever you may pray. Irrelevant. You gotta admit, the most important and powerful people that ever walked the face of this earth have been Jesus, Buddha, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, the Dalai Lama. What did they all have in common? They were broke, flat broke. All they had was the rags on their back. That's it. But yet their words and deeds, their actions, moved the hearts and minds of billions of people for centuries, millennia after their death. There may be a correlation, there might be a connection between spiritual enlightenment and freedom from the bondage of materialistic bullshit. There's nothing wrong with owning nice things, just don't let them own you. Don't let them define you. You got a nice car. I've had nice cars. It's wasted on me. Yo, dude, nice car. Thanks. That's as far as it went for me. I didn't feel like, yeah, I'm a success. What is a success? Success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile ideal. That could be anything. That could be anything, man. Woman wants to be a wife and mother, and she's good at it, and it makes her happy, and she feels fulfilled. There's no better job on earth, baby. She's a success. Guy wants to be a carpenter, swing a hammer his whole life. Hey, man, he works for somebody else, maybe does a little side work. He's a success. He's happy at it. He pays his bills. He can take care of his family. Well done, brother. You want to devote 20, 30, 40 years to building an empire. If that makes you happy, you feel fulfilled. You're going to go without a lot of things. There's only so many hours in a day. You can't be in two places at once, But if that's your idea of success, do your thing. Do your thing. But yes, God is there. God is here. God is everything. God is everywhere and everything. In the beginning, when there was nothing in existence, only God. God was the only anything, anywhere, ever. And he created the universe. Where did he get the physical stuff to create the universe? If there's only him, it must be from him. Which means what? That means this is God. 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 You're God. You are part of source energy. You are an extension. Like if you took a blank white wall and you took a bottle of ink and you whipped it against the wall, bam, and it does that big spider web thing, and you look at the one drop all the way on that side, all the way going down, and there's big chunky in the middle, and it splatters out. And then you look at the drop all the way on the other side, and it looks so separate. It looks so far away. If you trace the lines back, there's no separation, man. It's all connected. It's all one thing. The universe, one, verse, thing, song, if you will. It's a beautiful thing. And that's the thing about success as well. It's not, Alan Watts, love him. Listen to him this morning. Him, Eric Butterworth. Look up Eric Butterworth. The Silence. Tell you everything you need to know about meditation. Sorry, flight of thought again. Alan Watts. Okay. When you're trying to reach a goal, you don't wait to be happy. I'll be happy when. All you're doing is training your brain to put off joy, to put off happiness. Don't do that. Because then your brain will never feel happy. You'll never feel success and fulfillment and joy and contentment. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. I love it. I live in it. I wallow in it. I stew in it. Life is beauty. Let's say a song. If the idea was to get to the end as fast as you could, then a song a concert would be one big crescendo. Ba-dow, thank you. 2 seconds, done, bye. A dance. When you're dancing, is it to try to get on a specific part of the floor at the end of the dance as fast as you can, as efficient as you can? No. It's the journey, man. It's the dance, man. It's the song, dude. That's what life is. It's the thing. I saw a cartoon, drawn one little square. I'm sure you've seen it. It's so cool. Something just hit my heart, man. Beautiful. This woman is, a young lady's walking on the beach holding hands with a little kid, must be, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years old or whatever. And the kid, maybe, whatever, little, says, "Mommy, what's the meaning of life?" And she said, "You are." That's it, man. That's the way it is. You're the meaning of life. And you're never going to lose your life. How come every person that has ever been interviewed from all parts of the world that never met each other and have nothing to gain by lying all come back with the near-death experience or after life experiences where they're dead on a table? There was a guy dead on a table. They put him in a morgue. He was blowing the sheet up and down, and that's when the guy saw him. Holy shit, he's alive. Get him out of here. We'll put him on ice. 28 minutes. Anyway, everybody has the same story, the same experience. And there's no reason to lie. They said, it was dark, I saw a tunnel, and there was light at the end of the tunnel. When I got there, it was my loved ones. And it was, the guy was dead for 28 minutes. He said he was sitting at a table with 13 beings. They were almost points of light. 13. Would that be Jesus and 12 apostles? I don't know. I never died yet. I've never died yet. Undefeated. Don't say that too loud. All their stories are exactly the same. You know what I think? I think because that's the way it is. I think that's exactly what happens. People aren't afraid of death, I don't think. I think they're afraid of the mechanics of death. The gnashing of teeth and tearing asunder. I pray God takes you gently, man, in your sleep. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. But we don't worry about that, man, because you're going, like I said before in my last video, it's the first rule of thermodynamics. You can't create or destroy energy. It doesn't disappear or dissipate. You go from one state of entropy to another, one state of being to another. You go from this experience of life to that experience of life. What does a being look like? Okay, what does energy look like without a three-dimensional vessel? Free. Free to not just travel through, but to be all time and space at once. That's going to be cool. That's going to be very groovy. It's going to be better than any DMT bullshit you take. You don't have to. I don't take drugs, and I'm not going to tell people how to live their lives. I don't do that. If you have a problem, you're doing something that's bringing negative ramifications to your life, you're getting bad consequences, and you compulsively do it anyway, and you can't stop, let's talk. I can help you. This is what I talk about. Open your eyes. See what the world really is. It's a beautiful gift. What a blessing. There's nothing to fear. There's no death. I'm sorry. I can't quote everybody, but there was a scientist, for you science heads, like Wes says, science says you're a bitch. But human body on a scale, he dies. He loses, and they've done this study over and over, loses 21 grams. There's no gas leaving the body. There's no nothing that's leaving the body that should have any weight. There should be no weight differential at all. But yet 21 grams. Where did it go? What is it? What is it? Your soul? Ooh, very interesting. Yeah. We need everything backed up so bad, man. We got to see it. We got to see it. Okay, well, let's see what we see. We see between infrared and ultraviolet, right? That's what we see. We see between between infrared and ultraviolet. That's all we can see. That's the prism we get. Okay. So there are others. There's a lot of light spectrums. Look up the light spectrum. Look up Vsauce. I love that dude, Michael Stevens. Dude, you are the man. I've been watching your videos for years, bro. He talks about how, with the light spectrum, you go all the way in one way. There's cosmic gamma rays, and all the way into the intense thing that would cook our solar system like that. And then the other way, you have your little broadband, your short little radio waves, man, that are in this room right now. We covered that in the last video. Going right through your body right now. You can't feel them. Energy, resonance, and frequency. Yes. But if you took the known light spectrum, which can go on infinitely in either direction, don't mean to get too deep on you, but maybe I do. If you put the short band radio waves, the gentle ones, you put the little ones, you put them in New York City and stretch over 3,000 miles all the way to California where the cosmic gamma rays would be, if the known light spectrum was over 3,000 miles long, in between infrared and ultraviolet, that's what we see. I like asking clients the other day, I asked them, how many miles wide do you think that would be? A couple clients said 2, 5, 50, 10, 1. If it was a 3,000 mile wide spectrum, the part that we could see is thin and small enough to slip through the filter of a surgeon's mask. Subatomic, nanomicroscopic. We see what? a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of 1%. We're pretty much blind. Imagine that, basing everything you got on one whatever, one quintillionth of 1%, and say, I got it, I figured it out. And 96% of what we do see, like, dark energy, dark matter, we don't know what the hell it is. So we got 4%, we're struggling. 4%, oh my God, numbers. 4%, you ever see what the numbers is going? 4% of 4% of a 1 quintrillionth, whatever, quintillionth. There's this thing called faith, all right? There's this thing called faith. Know that there's a God. I mean, I could prove it in other ways as well, thanks to St. Thomas Aquinas, my man. You know how he died? He was young when he died, relatively speaking. He's deep in thought, man. He's so deep in thought. He's riding on a horse. He didn't see this branch coming down. Boom, it just hit him. Took him off the horse, broke his neck. He died. He lived so intensely. It killed him. He thought so deeply. He lost his life for it. He lived to death. He was so passionate about what he was doing. God called him home for it. It's pretty wild, man. It's pretty deep. But have no fear, people. Live, love, and laugh, right? That's what it's all about. That's what life is all about. Peace, love, and lasagna. I'll leave you with this. Come on, baby. Where are you? Grove Patterson, I believe. The architect of the universe would never create a stairway to nowhere. We're going home together. We'll get there. There's no way around it. Let me know if you find one. I'd like to stick around for a little while, but God love you, man.